lot of them are already gamers, so it can save you a lot of time. And you just like handcuff them in your basement, and there you go. Quality or something.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team be pretty decent?
Quality or something.
Average. I like. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
Quality or something.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team be pretty decent?
Quality or something.
Average. I like slavery. Average. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
Quality or something.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team be pretty decent?
Quality or something.
Average. I like slave. Ugh. 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 Ugh.
Quality or something.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team be pretty decent?
Quality or something.
Average. I like slavery. Average. Ugh. 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 Ugh.
Quality or something.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team be pretty decent?
Quality or something.
Average. I like slavery. Average. Ugh. 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 Ugh.
Quality or something.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancients Paladin, Samurai, and Psy Warrior. I feel like they... I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team have pretty decent quality or something? Average.
Hello.
I like slavery.
I hope you can hear me. Oh, you can. Oh, I need to log into Twitch again for some reason. It's weird. How are you, Moose? What is that fucking... And what are these clips? Who clipped me just talking about random shit?
Is the Artillerist Artificer, or Celestial Warlock, Ancient Paladin...
I have to delete them.
I feel like they... I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team have pretty decent quality or something? Average.
There we go.
I like slavery. Average.
What? No. Okay, I understand. Hello, how you doing, Moose? You're beautiful too. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go delete a bunch of clips real quick.
Team B is the Artillerist Artificer.
Because it's just playing through these over and over again as well. Clips of my channel. Let me turn this down as well.
I feel like they... I don't know much about Psy Warrior or Ancients Paladin, but I feel like they would have decent damage output, wouldn't they? Wouldn't that team have pretty decent quality or something?
Now that should break the clip player. No, didn't break it.
I like slavery. Average.
Hey, now it's broken. Okay. So we just won't do clips again. Let me go on over to screen share. There we go. You doing alright? That's good. I'm good also. I'm doing good. I feel like it's been way too long since I streamed. I know it's been too long when I actually like get kind of nervous about streaming. What? Stream shows you've been live for 3 hours? Well, that doesn't make sense because I went live 6 minutes ago. That's weird. Oh yeah, I never got a picture. I need to get a picture. Indie 5e Angels. That'll do it. That'll do. Angles. Where does it show how long I've been live for, Moose? Where does it tell you that? Because I've got a little timer there that's accurate. Yeah, I expect Angels to be a little bit boring, I'm not gonna lie. Got pictures of me and my people, how sweet. Yeah, look. Here's one. With the blue skin. Is that you? Is that what you look like? That's a planetar. The one in front of us there is a solar, I believe. Yes. Actually don't know where that image came from because in the monster manual it's like all cut off. So that's like a full version of what's in the monster manual. So like, I'll show you. So this is that picture. So I don't know where the picture came from. How someone got a full image of it. I guess it must be posted somewhere else. Right by where it shows how many people are watching? Weird. Very weird. I wonder if I was hosting someone. But that wouldn't make sense. Let me open my channel in an incognito window. Give myself a free viewer. No, I just want to see whatever it is you're seeing. Start watching. Yeah, for me it shows 9 minutes. Whack. I forgot you're already seeing this in the screen share. Yeah, that's whack. But anyway, it's all good. I gotta shave a little bit. Don't worry, I'm keeping all this stuff people keep telling me nice things about, but I do like to shave the cheeks. You know, just the cheeks. Just give nice. Oh wait, this nice clean lines. You know, this area. So it would be, and I need a haircut too, but that's not urgent. I'll probably do that after I move, which will be in the next, hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks. I don't know. It would be like down there. Oh, that's a little pimple. Oh, that reminds me. Me and my housemate need to refill out this form, this notice of intention to leave. But anyway, let's talk about Angel's Moose. Something with beard gives Moose boner, and that's why we keep it. So I'm going to start reading from the great big book of monsters, the Monster Manual. So angels. Let me bring this microphone up closer. An angel is a celestial agent sent forth into the planes to further its god's agenda for weal or woe. Its sublime, or sublime? I think it's sublime beauty and presence can drive awestruck onlookers to their knees. Yet angels are destroyers too, and their appearance portends doom as often as it signals hope. Portends. Man, why they use fancy words like I thought portent was the word. Portend? A sign or warning. Okay. Anyway. Oh wait. I better take a sip of my delicious mocha. It hurts a little bit because I think I bit my tongue at some point recently, and it's still there. Shards of the Divine. Angels are formed from the astral essence of benevolent gods and are thus divine beings of great power and foresight. Can I have a sip, Daddy? Anytime. Angels act out the will of their gods with tireless devotion. Even chaotic good deities command lawful good angels, knowing that the angel's dedication to order best allows them to fulfill divine commands. An angel follows a single driving purpose, as decreed by its deity. However, an angel is incapable of following commands that stray from the path of law and good. An angel slays evil creatures without remorse. As the embodiment of law and good, an angel is almost never mistaken in its judgments. This quality can create a sense of superiority in an angel, a sense that comes to the fore when an angel's task conflicts with the goals of another creature. The angel never acquiesces or gives way. When an angel is sent to aid mortals, it is sent not to serve but to command. The gods of good therefore send their angels among mortals only in response to the most dire circumstances. That's interesting. Should I say amen every time you start reading? If you want. That would be appropriate, yes. That's interesting though, and it's a cool little tidbit there. It is sent not to serve but to command. So whenever it is sent to help someone, it's it helps them by taking control of the situation. Amen, my brother. Not by simply offering its services and awaiting a command from the people it's helping. It knows better than them. That's why it's there. Like a parent helping a child. Also, I have a new tab in Twitch, completely unrelated. It says charity. Oh, I can create fundraisers. That's pretty cool. We don't have enough. The atomic cyborg economy is pretty low, so I don't think we have much to offer fundraisers, but that's okay. Fallen angels. An angel's moral compass grants it a sense of infallibility that can sometimes spell its undoing. Angels are usually too wise to fall for a simple deception, but sometimes pride can lead one to commit an evil act. Whether intentional or accidental, such an act is a permanent stain that marks the angel as an outcast. Fallen angels retain their power but lose their connection to the deities from which they were made. Most fallen angels take their banishment personally, rebelling against the powers they serve by seeking rulership over a section of the abyss or a place among other fallen in the hierarchy of the Nine Hells. Zariel, the ruler of the first layer of the Nine Hells, is such a creature. Rather than rebel, some fallen angels resign themselves to an isolated existence in the material plane, living in disguise as simple hermits. If they are redeemed, they can become powerful allies dedicated to justice and compassionate service. And immortal nature. An angel doesn't require food, drink, or sleep. I don't know why that's listed there. It should be listed in their stat block, not there, but okay. Mod brew. Too wise to fall for a trap? That's what they all say. The bigger they are, well, you see what I was going for. Yeah. How you doing, Mod brew? Thank you, Moose. But yes, sometimes pride can lead one to commit an evil act. Pride. I think the way I envision that is because it says also it would never acquiesce to what a mortal says. They would never do what a mortal tells them to do. They would come down with a task from their deity and they would fulfill that task. Just designing my abhorrent mind sorcerer for Friday's stream. Oh, very cool, Modbrew, very cool. Such a BS class. I honestly haven't looked at sorcerers much at all, so I wouldn't know. Tell me more. But yeah, sorry, how I was picturing angels falling for something would be, a mortal is like, hey, there's some information you don't have, so don't do that because it's bad. And the angel will be like, how could my God that sent me, how could they be mistaken? How could this mere mortal know more than we do? I will of course do the thing. And then they do it, turns out to be bad, and they're like, oh shit, human was right. Deity is like, ooh, bad angel, you take the fall for this. 6:19 p.m. here, yeah, well, yeah. 4:20 over there, nice. Very early. Always appreciate it when you come by, Moose, because it's so early for you, it's ridiculous. 6:20 where you are too, Modbrew? PM or AM? Oh, it would be PM because you're from the Australian stream, right? I'm just remembering that I first met you at Crit and Miss. Makes sense. That is how time works, as it turns out. A newie boy. Wait. Shouldn't we have different times? Oh wait. No, it's only when there's daylight savings that New South Wales adds an hour or whatever. But Queensland, don't ask me why, but Queensland does not do daylight savings, so our time never changes. It's just always Eastern Standard Time, Australian Eastern Standard Time. We don't use Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Makes life easy, I guess. You know why I did? I'm curious to know. I suppose I could just look it up, but I'll hear your version first. Also, we are learning about angels today, if the stream title didn't give that away. Oh, there's more to read? Oh yeah, each individual angel. So the next up is the Deva. Old wise angels. What, all Queenslanders? I would beg to differ. Excusez-moi. They're from your mom's house. I organise it. It means I know what to play D&D with my Queensland mates that don't have kids and say things like, let's start the game at 7 p.m. I see, Monroe. I'm glad I heard your version first. I would have been led astray if I had like Googled it and like looked at like a Queensland government site telling me some other shit. I'm glad I got the truth. I can always trust you for that. No versions. Oh yeah, sorry, did you just, well, guys want to get a quick read of that, just in case you couldn't read it? This is just how I drink. This is just how I sit. Just like that. Just at this angle. It's very comfortable for me. Just, yeah. Just stretching out my arm a little bit there. Yeah, there we go. The rest are lies I spread to stop the normies from finding out I rule the world, and most of my decisions are based on optimizing my D&D games. Should say Daddy's mug. Wow. It should say cool Daddy's mug. I don't know if I agree, but one day we'll put it to a poll, and if you win, then I'll buy a mug that says that. I'm going to start reading out Devas, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. Oh wait, we can find out. Come on, who's voice acting this one?
Deva.
Do you think it's Matt Mercer, or do you think just someone else that has a similar voice?
Deva.
I think anyone could have said that. It's not enough to go off, but it could have been him. Deva. So I'll let you guys have a look at... Oh, wait. I'm going to be reading... Oh, it doesn't have the description. Does it drop its school club? Dave. Is it the Solari would be scared of? I would say yes. I believe they are the strongest ones. They are their challenge rating is 21. David challenge rating is 10. Planetar challenge rating is 16. So yes, definitely the Solari, which I suppose we've decided is plural for... Oh no, actually they've got in a sentence, the few solars, so solars is plural in 5e, not Solari. The few solars that are known as stewards of specific deities. Oh, the few solars that are known are stewards of specific deities. Anyway, I'm going to read about Devas first. One of the stupid angel folk are equipped with a stupid bow that kills you if you get hit and are below 190 HP. Correct technical term is dumb stupid bow. I want to see which one that is now. Because all these guys have swords. Oh, there it is. Slaying longbow. If the target is a creature that has 100 hit points or fewer, yeah. That's the soulless. Dumb, stupid of TPK. Yeah, it is kind of not very creative, is it? I should probably say. I think I already saved this like an idiot. Okay, let me make a copy. Learning about angels. Make a copy. Come back here and hold down Control Z until it's all back to normal. And saved. There we go. Two DMs busted out, not realized till they're reading it and it's too late. Man, like, how hard is it to read a stat block? Like, you know, I mean, there are lots of different ways to DM, and I don't bash anyone for anything, as long as everyone's having fun. But like, if I think the main reason it surprises me is because whenever I would want to run something, I would want to read everything I can about it, to not just for combat balancing, but also just to know about it, so to know like how it would work. Because that's one of the biggest I'll say mistakes, but it could work if your table was into it. But one of the biggest things I see people complaining about is that like their combats are too boring or too easy, and it's usually because you've just got the party in a relatively open field and the enemy, and you're just fighting. Like there's nothing. It's just like we fight to the death because it's a video game. You know, like they don't stop and think about like what is the enemy actually trying to achieve? Are they just trying to murder the party, or is there something specific they're trying to do? What is the party trying to achieve? Just murder this creature, or are they trying to get past it? You know, and then on top of that, the environment should matter a lot too. But yeah, like there's so much that you can make interesting with minimal effort. Yeah, objectives / time limits. I don't know how. I think time limits. You'd have to do the time limit right. I guess it depends what you mean by time limit. Because I can see someone just being like, you want to be careful with it, I guess, because you don't want to. Because that's something else you have to balance then, is figure out how long it's going to take. And I think it can be hard to predict how long something's like a combat's going to take, depending on how rolls go. So I think a strict like round limit is a little dangerous. I won't say it's a bad idea, but it's dangerous. Well, dangerous maybe isn't the right word either, but I think it's just like it's because of how swingy D&D is and how unpredictable it is. It could be a bit unsatisfying to be like, all right, yeah, like let's say the place is coming down, the cave is like coming down around you, like you have 10 rounds to get from here to there, and then someone just rolls bad, and then you know a round is wasted, and it's like, and then they end up stuck in cave and dead because it fell on them. Like, I think it's the kind of thing you just want to be upfront about, I guess. It's not like it's a bad idea at all, but to like spring it on people and be like, okay, now all of a sudden you must get out of here in 10 rounds or else TPK. It's like, unless it's really easy to get out in 10 rounds, or at least moderately easy. I don't know if that would be a good idea. But if it's clear from the beginning, like, okay, you know, because you guys have been throwing, I don't know, so many fireballs around, you every time you throw a fireball, you're making this cave unstable. So you have a choice. You can either keep throwing them, and then you'll have to do an escape after this, or you can stop throwing them, and then you won't have to do that escape. Because then, like, you know, you're giving them that agency to decide, like, do we want to risk a cave in, or do we not? And then it's like they know what's going to happen. Yeah, choice or the illusion thereof. Because, you know, maybe the whatever they were fighting was going to bring the place down anyway, but they don't need to know that. actually, that's kind of counter to what I was just saying. I guess I just think time limits can feel a bit static and a bit like you don't have any control over it if you don't do it right. So I wouldn't just plonk a time limit and just be like, good luck. Like I'd want to be careful with it. That's all I'm saying. I think other objectives are a lot easier to work with. Like, I mean, you could literally rip game modes from video games, I guess. You wouldn't, not exactly, not like, okay, capture the flag, but like, there's similar ideas. Like, if there is an item in a room and something is guarding it, like, you don't necessarily have to kill that thing. If the idea is you're trying to get the item, then you could have, you know, some people could be fighting it, someone could sneak around and grab it, and then you just have to figure out how to get out of the room without dying, or to trap the creature and run, or whatever. Like, that's an objective. It's a simple objective, just get the object, but like, then the fight isn't just to the death. It's, you know, there's a reason that you're there. And that's a reason. Oh yeah, I'm never careful. I suppose sometimes it's okay to throw caution to the wind. But yeah, time limits are cool though. I think you could, especially if there's a lot of, like you were saying before. What is where was it? Man, I thought you said something else, but like tension, you know, making that tension. And I think it's something I'm starting to learn and to like is making options really clear so that players know, at least when it's appropriate, players know what are going to be the consequences, at least the obvious consequences. What are going to be the obvious consequences of a certain choice? So it's like, hey, you can do this and you'll easily get out within the time limit. Or you can do this, you know, if you're going to loot the place before you leave, then you don't have as much time. And if someone gets trapped, this is what it's going to take to get them out. You know, whatever. Like, I think I just like giving players as much information as they can without ruining the story. I like that idea anyway. I haven't run anything in ages, and I want to get back into DMing, but I intend to try to practice that and apply that. Last game I played went into Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game, then into Fortnite to fight as Darth Vader with their pet dragon. I need to stop drinking before games. I mean, hey, if you're gonna have them jumping through the multiverse, then, you know. Did they enjoy fighting as Darth Vader? Making things crystal clear is something I'm learning too. Yeah, I think it's something like when you hear, like on paper, it's like, oh, that's so easy. I'll just tell everyone things. But in practice, it takes a little bit of effort and care. Because just because you think something is clear doesn't mean it was clear to them. So it's not like super difficult or anything, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, you'll say something that sounds like common sense. I'm like, yeah, of course I make stuff clear, but if you know, it's not as straightforward as it seems sometimes. Literally said, the helicopter is leaving. If you don't head there soon, you will miss it. The blades are speeding up and the entire team calling you to hurry up. They decide to investigate their room and miss their flight. If you investigate this room, you will most likely miss the helicopter. We will investigate the room. Helicopter leaves. What? A surprise Pikachu face. See, like, even in a situation like that, though, there's so much the players can do, you know? Because, like, by telling them that, you're like, okay, what if half of us stay in here and investigate, the other half go out there and try to delay the helicopter from leaving, you know? Like, immediately. That's what I'd be thinking as a player. I'd be like, you know, if we still need to do this, then someone needs to delay the helicopter, you know? So yeah, that's a great example. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Deva. I still haven't read about the Deva because I'm sitting here chatting to you. This is your fault. Not my fault for bad time management. Deva. Devas are angels that act as divine messengers or agents to the material plane, the Shadowfell, and the Feywild that can assume a form appropriate to the realm they're sent to. So the fact that it includes all three, material, Shadowfell, and Feywild, is there something that like joins those three? Are they all? I guess they're all versions of the material plane. Like the Feywild and the Shadowfell are like parallel planes. I think one place I read called them. But yeah, they enjoyed the Fortnite, the Die Hard games, such Harry Potter. My Little Pony was better though. Damn. Like, I know people talk about being inspired by real world media, but that's taking a whole new level. Did any of the ponies cast Avada Kedavra? Wait. Oh, hey, Bandit King. Thank you for the eyeball. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Next paragraph. Legend tells of angels that take mortal form for years, lending aid, hope, and courage to good-hearted folk. A deva can take any shape, although it prefers to appear to mortals as an innocuous humanoid or animal. When circumstances require that it cast off its guise, a deva is a beautiful humanoid-like creature with silvery skin. Yes. Its hair and eyes gleam with an unearthly luster, and large feathery wings unfurl from its shoulder blades. And that is the deva. Oh wait, we have a picture already. Over here. There's the deva. Okay, so what I might do is go through the... Because there's 3 angels, I might go through and answer these, my little sheet that I wrote for each one. No, but they baked an awesome birthday cake. That's what it's all about. Sleepy boy, Bandit. Why are you sleepy boy? What time is it for you? Rolling out 20 on the birthday cake. That's a tasty cartoon cake. Damn, that's tasty. Alright. Dismiss. Origins. Well, they're from the upper planes, I guess. They're all... that's the same answer for all of them. Actually, let me confirm that. That angels only come from the upper planes. It doesn't actually say that. But I think it's fair to assume that they come from the upper plane, the good planes. They are all good, but and it explicitly mentions that even chaotic good deities command lawful good angels. So even though they're lawful good, they're still commanded by chaotic good deities as well. So I would say all good. The upper planes. The upper planes. Getting distracted, Deva. Deva. Alright, so this one's easy. Upper planes. Doesn't actually say like how they were made or anything. Just sent forth to further its God's agenda. Let's say created by... You know what's interesting about them is that all of the upper planes use them. So it's not like, you know, there's an angel of the Beastlands or there's an angel of Bytopia. Like it's the same angel. Like it's the same types of angels that they all use, which makes me wonder if there's room there for something interesting. And I know I have said previously I only wanted to use the monster manual for reference, but also, what the fuck is that emote? It's a love heart mimic or something. That's cool. Forgotten Realms Angels. Just for a bit of inspiration, okay? I'm not gonna adhere strictly to the Forgotten Realms lore. Held from any of the upper planes. Society, creation and ascendance. Angels were created by the will of their deities from the spirits of select petitioners. The gods or goddesses simply form new bodies for these chosen followers in the afterlife, making them into... I'm sorry, what? Huh? I guess... Agathinon. Agathanon. Is that what that said? Agathanon. Good-natured spiritual messengers and warriors from the upper planes. Goddess of magic employed these angels and messengers along with many other noble beings. What? I want to see a lawful evil angel sent to Mount Celestia and has to follow the orders. Just to be fed up with their goody two-shoeness. Yeah, so what the fact that it didn't explicitly say they come from the upper planes, it just sort of allowed you to make that assumption. I was like, that's interesting. What if angels don't have to all be from the upper planes? It is heavily implied that they are, but it would be cool. I mean, well, there are literally fallen angels. But I think fallen angels are different because they're not bound in servitude. Like they're basically independent, which is why they go down to try and lord over one of the 9 hells or the abyss or whatever. But yeah, just fed up with their goody two-shoes. I think it would be cool if I think it would be cool if angels were their own separate... They'd be more interesting to me anyway, if they were their own separate thing. But that starts to make me think of inevitables. Which I think are more linked to inevitable. Lawful intelligent constructs whose single purpose was to enforce the fundamental laws of nature and morality and punish those who violated them. Yeah, so they're more strictly lawful neutral, I guess. But honestly, these are more like... This is closer to how I would envision like a biblical angel too, which is interesting. Yeah, what's a petitioner? Dead person's soul that made it in some way or another to a plane of existence other than the material plane. Oh. Understandable. Have a nice day. Agathanon, who served faithfully as warriors in the holy armies, could be promoted and transformed into celestial stewards in a process called ascendance. So basically, you die... If you're a follower of a deity, then you die and you get made into a... If you serve them well in the afterlife, you get made into an angel. A deva first, and then a planetar, and then a solar. So that's worth noting. Oh wait, that's not here. That's in here. So, followers of an upper plane deity who died, served faithfully in the afterlife, and got promoted / transformed into a deva, then planetar, then solar. Because that would mean a Deva would be aware that they can become a planetar or a solar. So that would be something, that would be part of like their motivations, is like they want to serve not just because they're like constructed to, but because like if they do well and they get to become a planetar. Actually, what happens if they don't do well? They get downgraded? Demoted? An angel retained all memories when ascending. It was only the physical form and powers that were changed. See, that's also interesting. Memory is retained throughout. Which means they remember living on the material plane, or the Feywild, or the Shadowfell. Imagine someone who lived in the Shadowfell, but was faithful to an upper plane deity, and so eventually became an angel. That'd be cool. That'd be kind of an edgy backstory for an angel, but still pretty cool. Cool. Habitat, where can they be found today? They don't exactly have a habitat, but I guess, oh, where is it? Over here. Well, we've got the Deva, and it doesn't have the description of the Deva, so I need to go and read over here. Let me just read also Planetar and Solar, so we'll just read them all off the bat. I was going to do them one at a time, but I think I'm just going to do them all at once instead. Because now I realize they're all kind of the same thing, they're just like different. They've been promoted up through the ranks. Planetar. Planetars act as the weapons of the gods they serve, presenting a tangible representation of their deity's might. A planetar can call down rain to relieve a drought, or can loose an insect plague to devour crops. And Planetar's celestial ears detect every falsehood, and its radiant eyes see through every deception. Just want to check something real quick. Divine awareness. This is in the stat block. The Planetar knows if it hears a lie, and it also senses true sight 120 feet. Very cool. Planetars are muscular and hairless, and have opalescent green skin and white feathered wings. Planetar. There he is, opalescent green. They tower over most humanoids, brandishing immense swords with grace. Sometimes sent to aid powerful mortals on important tasks for good, Planetars are especially fond of missions that involve battling fiends. Very, very good. Good job, Planetars. Now let's look at Solars. Solar is godlike in its glory and power. On the battlefield, the Solar's sword flies into the fray on its own, and a single arrow from a Solar's bow can strike a target dead on contact. So great is a Solar's celestial might that even demon princes shrink at its resonant commands. It is said that only 24 Solars exist. The few Solars that are known are stewards of specific deities. The others rest in a state of contemplation, waiting for the time when their services are needed to stave off some cosmic threat to the cause of good. This is interesting to me as well, because a lot of campaigns deal with, you know, big bad evil guys, and angels never show up. Which is fine, you don't have to like think of everything, but it would be cool to consider like, why aren't the angels here, you know? And maybe look at like god level politics or something. That'd be interesting. That would allow you to bring politics into a game which was previously just like saving the world by killing stuff. If players were uninterested in like human level politics, you'd be like, well, yeah, but what about god level politics? You want to get involved in that? Probably still a no, but it's worth a shot. Flying sword. The solar releases its great sword to hover magically in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of it. If the solar can see the sword, the solar can mentally command it as a bonus action to fly up to 50 feet and either make one attack against a target or return to the solar's hands. If the hovering sword is targeted by any effect, the solar is considered to be holding it. What? If the hovering sword is targeted by any effect, the solar is considered to be holding it. The hovering sword falls to the solar die. I guess that's for like disarming or anything like that. Fair enough. But that's pretty cool. So the way they would work if you were fighting one is they would sit in the back with their slaying longbow, and every turn be using their bonus action to have their flying sword go and fuck you up. Like that. You have to be like a team of barbarians. Or just all have very high constitution, I guess, because it's DC 15 con save. Or die. Save or die. Isn't that fun? Also, I'm really looking forward to the next time I do this, which will be animated objects. That comes after angels. Animated objects, gotta be one of my favorites. But anyway, angels. So where are they at with angels? Where can they be found? Well, actually, we'll have to do that separately for each one. So, Deva. Legend tells, this is for Deva, legend tells of angels that take mortal form for years, lending aid, hope, and courage to good-hearted folk. A Deva can take any shape, although it prefers to appear to mortals as an innocuous humanoid or animal. When circumstances require that it cast off its guise, a Deva is a beautiful humanoid-like creature with silvery skin. Its hair and eyes gleam with unearthly luster, and large feathery wings unfurl from shoulder blades. So, I would say, based on that, Deva... actually, it's going to be quite messy if I do it this way, so let me do it like this. Deva. Hidden in plain sight. Disguised as an innocuous humanoid or animal. The material plane. Disguised as an innocuous humanoid or animal. Planetar. I feel like Planetar would not just be hanging out, because they are very specifically weapons. But let's have a look. Sometimes sent to aid powerful mortals on important tasks for good, Planetars are especially fond of missions that involve battling fiends. It doesn't mention anything about where they hang out. So we have no idea what the favorite, chill out place for a Planetar is. So we will just say they're probably hanging out in some sort of divine armory. Armory? Let's call it a divine armory because it sounds cool. I've just invented a place, which I totally original thought. No one's ever thought of a divine armory before. Don't at me. Divine armory, or joining with powerful mortals on a mission for good, or wherever the front line is against fiendish in the fight against fiends. So I'm just going to assume that that's sort of an ongoing thing. You know, that there's always a fight somewhere, and the Planetars will be there fighting fiends. They are very much living weapons. So, lastly, the solar. And this actually specifically says a few things. It is said that only 24 solars exist. So let's say only 24 exist. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's check that shit out. Let's have a look at something. 5e cosmology wheel. I don't remember what it's called. The Great Wheel. Give me that. Give me that big picture. Okay, open image in new tab. Thanks, champ. Alright. So the upper planes are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 24 solars. Because it says... Oh, there may be more than one deity per plane, actually. I didn't think about that. Let me have another read of that. Stewards of specific deities. The others rest in a state of contemplation, waiting for the time when their services are needed to stave off some cosmic threat to the cause of good. Sacred geometry. I have not heard of this. I'm going to use sacred geometry. It sounds like not mentioned in 5e, I'm guessing. Lots of Pathfinder stuff. Okay, I think this might be different. Yeah, this is different. Just a term for holy shapes. Ah, okay. So if I just search sacred geometry, I get a Wikipedia page. Okay, that's a lot more useful than searching 5e. Symbolic and sacred meanings to certain geometric shapes and certain geometric proportions. It is associated with the belief that a god is the creator of the universal geometer. A person skilled in geometry. I guess. Okay. Geometry used in the design and construction of religious structures such as churches, temples, mosques, religious monuments, altars, tabernacles, tabernacles. What? No. I need this.
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle. Sounded sad. Sacred. Sacred places. It's a pretty cool idea. Yeah, that definitely, so that kind of thing definitely makes me think more of the inevitables than it does of angels in the Forgotten Realms anyway. Because I think they've sort of, to me, it's sort of like angels in 5e or in the Forgotten Realms are like movie angels, and inevitables, which serve the lawful neutral place, are like actual biblical angels. Like made of weird shit, sacred geometry. They're not humanoids with fluffy wings. They're like wheels with eyeballs, you know. Bayonetta angels. See, I haven't played Bayonetta, but I assume Bayonetta just has biblical Bayonetta angels images. Yeah, that's kind of a halfway, I would say. These look like, at least this one. This is like halfway between a movie angel and like a, you know, biblical angel. This is much more biblical, I would say. Oh, look at that thing. That's sick. Look, it's Bayonetta from hit game Bayonetta. Oh, that's pretty cool. I like this one. But yeah, I see what you mean. I do love the idea of angels being more like constructs than organic things. But I guess I think I like the idea of splitting them up into like angels and inevitables, because then you can still have your fluffy angels. You don't have to completely get rid of them and pretend they don't exist. And the inevitables can be like that. They can be freaky. Because I like that. I think that's cool. Especially since the natural enemy of the inevitables would surely be like Lovecraftian creatures that defy physics, right? That defy the fundamental laws. So they should be just as like difficult to comprehend as their enemies, the Lovecraftian stuff. Also, what? Hold on. This is just almost unrelated. Chaos equivalent of inevitables. Let's say path. Yeah, finder. Manipulative Oh, hold on. That's what we want. Inevitable. Let me search for matched on the side of chaos by the manipulative Immantesh proteans. Well, this is a stat block. Okay, don't show this again. Lower body of a snake, humanoid torso, bone-like head and claws. Oh, that's uncreative. I mean, it's cool, but missionaries of chaos and heralds of reality's eventual unraveling. Outside of limbo. So if I just search up Forgotten Realms proteans? Protean Pathfinder wiki will do. I'm just curious about this now because it's all sort of in the same vein, right? Have the movie angels be ascended beings and the freaky looking ones that pre-exist? I was more thinking I just like the idea that like movie angels represent good or fight for good, serve good, while inevitables are like, they look like biblical angels, but they strictly serve law, whether it's good or bad. Like they just they serve the fundamental laws of the universe, so they're still divine in a way, just not in a strictly good way. I'm gonna read about these proteans, which are supposedly like, because like inevitables are like lawful angels, angels are like good angels. I don't know what the opposite is. I guess it's just demons and devils, but there's probably some more powerful equivalent. And then for chaos, apparently it's proteans, a large serpentine creature with arms and an armored snake-like torso. They're the children harbingers of the primal chaos of the maelstrom. Protean lords. Do tell. Really, no picture. Really. You don't do me like that. Really. Those of a demon lord. Yeah, so demon lords must be like counter to angels, I guess. The internal anatomy of a protean is mutable, and all proteans have the ability to change their outward form. They all have the ability to fly and cannot be held or captured by normal means. They have no innate gender, but can take on any gender they feel like. None or both. Some proteans are created by reproduction, while some are formed directly from the raw chaos of the maelstrom, and others are mortal souls that have been transformed into proteans. I want to see a protean lord. Protean lord. Images, please. I guess that might be one. Cute snake. It's a tweet. It's so cute. Avatar of the Protean Lord. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed by Protean Lords, if I'm being honest. It's very like a penis, Average. Thanks for dropping by. It's very similar to a penis. It's a snake. But yeah, like that's kind of disappointing to me that like that for some reason they just decided snakes represent chaos. Like, I don't know. I would have preferred something a bit more holistic, a bit more like abstract. But it's like, yeah, snake people. Those are the equivalent of angels, but who serve chaos. I mean, they can shapeshift, but like, I would have preferred some like amorphous, gaseous, blob of anything rather than a snake person that can shapeshift. I'm good, Average, by the way. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? This is cold. But I finished it. Yeah, I think I would make something else up for these guys. Thanks for the eyeball, Average. Appreciate it. I don't know. If I wanted to have some proteins in a campaign, I'd rather something that this is the color of foreskin. Thank you, Average. I feel like chaos would be something like, oh, I gotta Google that because I've never heard of that before. There we go. Charybdis, a sea monster. She with the sea monster Scylla appears as a challenge to epic character. Yes, that's cool. Let's go images. Bro, that is a great example. Honestly, like just Lovecraftian shit, which this looks very much like, is how I would imagine that. I feel like they should be, the harbingers of chaos. But instead, and I don't mind this, but instead what they do is they put Lovecraftian stuff in the Far Realms, which is completely divorced from the Great Wheel. Like, it's completely outside of this, which I do like as well. Like, it's like they completely break the rules of everything, They're not just chaotic creatures. They're like, they don't even follow those rules. Which I kind of like, but at the same time, I think I would have been okay with them just making Limbo the place, like Limbo and the Far Realm the same place. Like, they're the same thing, I would have been cool with that. But they're a little different. The Far Realm is like aliens, I guess. And Limbo is a little bit different, but I don't know, I think it's just a missed opportunity, man. But whatever. Let me read about Charybdis. Let's get a picture of Charybdis. That's a good picture. Yeah, this is fucking sick. Especially since so many of these pictures have a literal maelstrom that Charybdis sits in the middle of. And Limbo is meant to be like a maelstrom. Like, that's cool. Let me put the pictures over here for flavor while I read about Charybdis. The idiom between Scylla and Charybdis. Am I even saying that right? Hold on. Pronunciation Charybdis. It's ka, not cha.
Charybdis.
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 That's fair. I also used to say chitin instead of chitin for this word, which starts with CH, which is the armor on like insects and stuff. crustaceans, insects, and the cell walls of fungi. What? That? It's a naturally occurring polymer. Whack. Anyway, I used to call that chitin, but it's pronounced chitin. In fact, let me do that just because I'm on a pronunciation spree. Let's go.
Chitin.
You see this word, and I don't think it's unreasonable to think it's pronounced chitin. But anyway, so now I know Charybdis and Scylla. I'm gonna have to check Scylla. It is Scylla.
Scylla.
Got him. Anyway, come to mean being forced to choose between two similarly dangerous situations. I see, yes. The sea monster Charybdis was believed to live under a small rock on one side of a narrow channel. Opposite her was Scylla, another sea monster that lived inside a much larger rock. The sides of the strait were within an arrow shot of each other, and the sailors attempting to avoid one of them would come in reach of the other. To be between Scylla and Charybdis therefore means to be presented with two opposite dangers, the task being to find a route that avoids both. Bats walk dogs, mod brew? Enjoy. I hope your dogs enjoy too. If it's Greek, chances are you don't pronounce the H after a C. Well, see, I didn't know chitin was Greek. But yeah, that's why I looked it up, because I saw it and I was like, I feel like this might be k and not ch. It might be. I better check. Yeah, pretty much anytime I see CH in a word like this, which I guess is a Greek word without me thinking about it, it didn't click in my head that like, this is Greek, I better check. It was more like just a vibe. 3 times a day, Charybdis swallowed a huge amount of water before belching it back out again, creating large whirlpools capable of dragging a ship underwater. In some variations of the story, Charybdis was simply a large whirlpool instead of a sea monster. Through the descriptions of Greek mythical chroniclers and Greek historians such as would that be a ch? Thuchi? Or Thucydides? 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 Let's check, shall we? I didn't know how easy it was to Thucydides. Thucydides, of course. I keep forgetting that it's quick, like it rolls off the tongue. Thucydides. Modern scholars generally agree that Charybdis was said to have been located in the Strait of Messina, or Messina? I don't know. Off the coast of Sicily and opposite a rock on the mainland identified with Scylla. A whirlpool does exist there, caused by currents meeting, but it is dangerous only to small craft in extreme conditions. See, I love that, because that means it comes from an actual whirlpool. Like, people actually saw that and were like, and it created a story around it. That's pretty realistic. I say about what happens in real life. Damn, real life is so realistic. It's crazy, bro. It's so believable. A later myth makes Charybdis the daughter of Poseidon and Gaia, and living as a loyal servant to her father. The Odyssey? Well, anyway, that's cool. I agree, Charybdis is a way cooler version of this. I think just in general, the ocean is also a lot more interesting. Like, the ocean is, in general, kind of feels a bit lawless to the human mind, I think. You know, like, which way is the wind going to blow? Which way the tide's going to take you? Especially the medieval mind. Because nowadays we can predict a lot of that stuff because we have a lot of data, but back then it would have been like, you know, you're at the whims of the sea, right? It doesn't feel lawful. It feels random. And you have to sort of go with it. And everything beneath the water was like, yeah, you go a little deep and like everything is so different down there and crazy. Shit's glowing. Everything's bioluminescent down there, you know. You got Charybdis floating around. But yeah. I find proteins a little disappointing. So I'd probably make my own version of that if I were to run something like that. I'm trying to find a font and I'm having no luck. Oh, I wish I could help, but I know nothing about fonts. Other than don't use Comic Sans. I hope this has been your helpful font tip, which I'm sure you did not already know. And this is news to you, that Comic Sans is trash. You didn't know that. You might think you knew that, but you didn't. And now you do. What was there? Oh yeah. At the side of their deity, or at the Here's something interesting. Where would soulless go to meditate? Because it says that it is said that only 24 soulless exist. The few soulless that are known are stewards of specific deities. So they would be at the side of their deity. The others rest in a state of contemplation, waiting for the time when their services are needed to stave off some cosmic threat to the cause of good. So they are not serving a specific deity, which means they wouldn't be associated with a specific plane, except maybe Elysium, since that is the goodest of good. Well, it's neutral good. I suppose it's not necessarily the good, but whatever. Or Mount Celestia, since that's the most lawful good. It'd be cool if it was just somewhere else, but let me look up Mount Celestia. Oh, Forgotten Realms. And then also look up Elysium. Seven Heavens of Mount Celestia, also called Seven Mountains of Goodness and Law, Seven Mounting Heavens of Celestia, or Seven Heavens. Deities, locations. Okay, that didn't really... Solania? A? The Electrum Heaven. Fourth layer of Mount Celestia. A collective... Pistis Sophia, the ruler of Solania. Peaks were home to numerous holy shrines. Arakinor. Located on the slopes of Solania, where the dwarven deity Moradin made his domain. The location of the giant soul forges. Ouroboros, also known as the Gates of Wisdom, the airborne realm of Jazirian of the Coatl. Floated above the mountainside of Solania. First monastery of the Plains Militant. Located on a high plateau above the clouds, this monastery was rumoured to be the source of power for all paladins. See, that's an interesting place to me, because a paladin is like an angel in the making. You know, a paladin is the kind of person who, when they die, they will continue to serve in the afterlife. They'll get promoted to Deva. They'll get promoted to Planetar. They're the rookies that are going to be a solar one day. First monastery of the Plains Militant. Source of power for all paladins. Which is not necessarily accurate. Well, it could be. Font found, art made, bandit rests briefly. Very nice. I think this could be a place where the solos hang out. The first monastery of the Plains Militant. Let me look that one up, actually. Gothic style complex built atop a rocky plateau just above the clouds. Seven Heavens of Mount Celestia on World Anvil? Why is this here and why is it in sci-fi font? Okay. Mimia.net. Ooh. Oh my goodness. The 2 new banners. Man, you're always making banners. I think this Solania place, Electrum Heaven, is very appropriate because of its name, but also because too many ideas for campaigns. I posted on the Discord if you want to see. Oh, sick. I haven't even got Discord open currently. Black Temple Saga, Red Sunrise. Black Temple Saga, the Candlelit Village. Very cool. Where are you getting the pictures from? Are they pictures you make? Like the background images? Are you an expert image maker? Just finding them? Oh, okay. Not an artist? Same. They're very cool. So are these just, do you just do up a little Candlelit Village from League of Legends? Oh, okay. Do you just do up a little banner when you have the idea, like before you've even planned the campaign? Just to sort of like give yourself a little piece of art to sort of anchor the theme and the vibe of the campaign, because I totally think that's really cool, and I think I should probably start doing that myself. Although typically I try not to think of new campaign ideas because I haven't even started one. But now I have to move house, so I'm not really too keen on starting one until after I've moved. But then I'd really like to buy like a nice D&D table. And there's one I really want, which is currently on Kickstarter. So I just hope I can still get it, or like kickstart it, back it after I move, because they're really cool. And it like has bits that you put on it, so it's like a normal dining table, and you can take the bits off, and you can just put a link in the chat. Firstly, I made it in the planning stages, so the Wild West, Noir, and Australian one are getting built. Ah, cool. How much do you plan a campaign? Because the way I've been thinking about the one that I am planning right now is just planning levels 1 to 4. With, a vague idea of what the next step might be, but I don't want to like set anything in stone because I want to let the player's actions direct that. I know it's certainly not the only way to do it. So I guess I'm curious, like, how far ahead do you plan? Or are you even planning at that level, or are you more just planning the world? And less like level by level potential adventures and encounters, and more just like the world building. I'm gonna go with Solania. I'm gonna straight up make this shit up and say, or resting in contemplation at the the monastery of the Plains Militant. In Solania, Electrum Heaven. The fourth layer of Mount Celestia. That's cool. Weirdly specific, but I think it's cool. It's fun. What did they do? Good question. Do the world, some key encounters, overall campaign goal. Sunny to 1 actually starts next week. I had key encounters, end boss, a lot of world building done for it. Oh, interesting. Okay. Overall campaign goal makes sense. Key encounters makes sense. End boss makes sense. I mean, I suppose it all makes sense if you have like a very specific like theme and like vision for the campaign. A lot of world building. And with your world building, do you like to is it and are all these campaigns in the same world but in different locations, or are they all just completely new worlds unrelated to each other? Or does it depend? I know that some of them are the Black Temple saga, so I assume they are in the same world, but the others might not be. Okay, what David do? Hang out and chill in their disguise until they are needed to protect goodness. I'm going to be trying kind of quick and dirty with this. Await activation by their deity to use their powers and destroy threats from the lower planes. Or help mortals in the fight for good. Like a parent helping a child. Never subservient to a fault. They're all on distant lands from each other. The Sunny campaign has hints about the other lands around the world that most fear to try and reach. The waters be dangerous. Ah, of course. And do you plan for any of them to like interact with each other? Or will they is it just dangerous waters is like your invisible wall and they don't really touch each other or make changes with each other? I suppose if you're running them all separately, then you could just wait until the campaign's over and then be like, okay, so this had this effect for this world or this continent or whatever. Solars. There we go. Solars. Beside the deity. Handling the most dangerous of tasks. Contemplating goodness and righteousness at Mount Celestia. Oh, sorry. Served their duty. Or contemplate. Why do they do it? Because they have believed in goodness in the form of the deity they in whatever form it takes for the deity they follow, with all of their being for their entire life and afterlife. How do all previous points combine to collect the personality for these creatures? Good question. Just kiss me already, Moose? I'm gonna say that the players can theoretically travel to new places at the end, using the Dowa as smugglers that could take people, but waters and shoreline be dangerous. At the end, oh, as in like, when you complete the campaign, do you have them continue to play for a bit or something? And mob breeders have to be goodness. Only according to the book. But that's why earlier, I don't know if you've been AFK, but earlier we were talking about all the angel equivalents for the other corners of the multiverse. So if angels are like good, then you have inevitables, which are strictly lawful. Oh, you heard all of that? Oh, okay. So that's sort of the Forgotten Realms way of doing it. But you know, the only thing in the Monster Manual actually saying they have to be good is their alignment on the stat block. Oh, you mean, do I have to use the word goodness? Well, I mean, it's just notes. It's not like anyone else going to read it. But I'm also not a fan of the word goodness. I just chucked it down because I was lazy. But alternatives? Justice? I suppose. I suppose justice is right. They are lawful good after all, not just good. Right power. Righteousness is probably closer. Let me look that up actually. Righteousness. The quality of being morally right or justifiable. Oh, I've also got goodness. Yeah, decency, integrity. Yeah, justice is in there. What does it say if I just click goodness? Being morally good or virtuous. Virtue. Yeah. So how many times have I used the word goodness here? Okay. Hang out and chill in their disguise until they're needed to protect. Well, it does specifically mention good-hearted folk. And I'll say the Deva are a little lower level, so they're just there to protect people, not to save the multiverse. The most dangerous task, or contemplate how best to protect and spread righteousness at Mount Celestia. One sec. Well, rest at Mount Celestia, contemplating how best to protect and spread righteousness. Protect righteousness sounds weird. Protect the virtuous and be so you're making me like trying to be creative with the words now. Contemplating how best to protect the virtuous and be paragons of righteousness. Why do I do it? Because they have believed in virtue. That's what you were suggesting. Believed in virtue. What else have we got? Since I did use. Yeah, virtue is fine. We'll use virtue. In let's say virtue and justice. In whatever form it takes for the deity they follow, with all there being. Life after life. It still doesn't read that great, but that's they're just notes. So you've brought the low bar I had set up a little bit. So thank you for that. Nice, thank you. Wouldn't have done it without your help. Yeah, I was being really lazy because I was really slow. And normally I'm like, I spend the first hour on this, and then the next hour on this, and the third hour on this, but we're already at an hour and a half, so I was kind of skipping through it. Already made an awesome deal on my wildest expectations. I'm going to choose to take that as a compliment and not think too hard about how low your expectations were, but I'm just kidding. Thank you. We work together. Culture. This is something I could definitely use help with because I guess angels would have a culture of being examples. So definitely a culture of self-improvement. Only I'm allowed to use words like goodness and wrong. That we should just replace here, instead of lawful good, it should just be goodness. And goodness and badness, yeah. So gotta go, Bandit King. Oh, I didn't read the other thing you wrote. Closer to an epilogue. Do they take up leadership roles? Do they return home, go about their day, etc.? Oh yeah, cool. Alright, enjoy. Thanks for dropping by, Bandit. Appreciate it. Always cool to hear about your campaign ideas. And see your art in the Discord. So culture, I think all angels strive to be the best, most. I think virtuous is the right word here. Oh my god, my brain is just turning off. My virtuous version of themselves, as they have a responsibility to I'm going to do a little dot point list. For those fans of Kung Pao, killing is wrong and bad. There should be a new word for them, like rat or base. Badong, yes, killing is badong. It's been so long since I have watched Kung Pao. Oh, why is this caught? Millie, you want to go say hi to Josh? Get in. Badong. Killing is badong. So lawful badong is my real world alignment. So responsibility to wield their deity's powers as the deity would would want. Command mortals and lead them by example. That might have been the only two things. Maybe I didn't need a dot point list. But basically they have a lot of reasons that they should always be striving to be the best angel they can be, because they are very much, they're both wielding power that was given to them to do that, on the condition that they do that, and they don't serve mortals. They don't go down there and be like, well, you know, mortals, you're making the choices. You know, I hope you choose the good thing and not a bad thing. Like, they go down there and they tell mortals what to do. They don't serve them. So they need to be able to lead them and not lead them into more evil. And I think the other thing is well, not a responsibility anymore. They have to earn greater powers, transformation to higher form of angel. And greater powers to better serve their deity. I don't need to put that in brackets because I mentioned it earlier. Did we go make a cup of coffee? Okie dokie. I'm gonna have a little bit of water because my coffee is gone. Mine is into a tangible location or settlement which serves a purpose and has a culture. See, I don't think there's much point in me doing that. Actually, I kind of already did it, which is I stole a location that exists. And I might not. Let's do a dot point real quick. First monastery of the Plains Militant in Solania, 4th layer of Mount Celestia. Watch some Spelljammer on Friday? I don't know what you're talking about. What's happening on Friday? I'm very out of the loop with like everything. And I've actually been watching Dimension 20's Starstruck Odyssey. I've been binging that. I was binging it today while working from home. Working. Anyway, so I'm kind of down for some Spelljammer because it's very much in a similar vein, just with the fantasy fucking dialed up. But what are you talking about? Is this a Twitch channel or is this an official D&D thing that I can watch on Friday? Is this your channel? Is it your channel? Because I could be down, depending on the timing, of course. Emily Axford is my dream player. She, for multiple reasons, but not your channel. Yeah, where's Spelljammer being played? Crit and Miss. Ah, okay. That was actually my first thought, but I don't know why I didn't ask. Yeah, I don't. Where is the schedule up for them? Is it on their page? Crit and Miss, Twitch. Come on, Google. You know that's what I meant. Because I'm not in like their Discord or anything. I only followed them. But Yeah, I mean, I could be down to watch some of that. I kind of want to watch who else? Boop, who's not here tonight. Surprisingly, I'm gonna ban him. We just talk about Emily Axford if you want. I was. They're all. I actually really like Ali as well. Ali Beardsley. Like, she has some really cool role play. Like, she's really fun. At least in Starstruck Odyssey, because I haven't watched a lot of D20 stuff, Dimension 20 stuff. But Ali is also an amazing player. Thought all you Queensland folk knew each other. Oh no! I just rated them because I searched up I searched D&D with the tag Australian, and they were like the only. It was like 2 different channels. That it was Crit and Miss or someone else. I'm pretty sure, unless someone else. Someone else might have suggested. Oh no, that was a different person. That was GM Workshop. But yeah, she's good fun in Starstruck for sure. Both from Emily and Ali. But yeah, Emily. I think I think they're all good to be as players. Like Sleeping City after Starstruck. There's so much content. I'm also up to date on Court of Fey and Flowers, which is really good fun as well. Sorry, I'm just chucking some stuff down before I continue. Best monk role I've ever seen by Emily Axford. Oh, okay. Since I've only really watched Starstruck and I had to drop out TV for a while. I only just started it up so I could watch Court of Fey and Flowers. But I'm up to date on it, so since the last episode dropped, I've been binging Starstruck Odyssey. The Divine Armory lies beneath the monastery, where planetars are kept inactive. That's beneath the monastery. I like the idea of them really being living weapons and like not being very different to the others for that reason. Through 6K pay cuts, I had to budget. Oh, damn. Okay. I'm still a newbie to the workforce in general, so yeah, I'm still working my first job. Tiny Heist and Fantasy High. Yeah, well, at the moment I am just straight binging Starstruck, but when that runs out, I might have to watch those as well. I'm not super keen on Fantasy High. It seems to be the most popular one, but I don't know if I want to watch like Fantasy High School because it's such a trope, but it is so popular and everyone seems to love it, and a lot of their best jokes come out of it. I've watched a lot of shorts that I think came from it, like YouTube shorts. So some of those jokes I've already seen, but I mean, there's a lot of it, so it's not like I've seen it all. But yeah, when I run out of Starstruck, I will probably go to one of those. I kind of want to watch Crown of Candy, actually. That might be the next one I watch. But yeah, what I was saying is, because I've only really watched Starstruck. I've only watched Starstruck and Court of Fey and Flowers. Emily Axford in both of those is fairly she's just very outgoing and like active, and so that's the only version of her I've seen, is like her character being very energetic. So when you said best monk role play I've ever seen, I'm curious what you mean by that, because when I imagine stereotypical monk, I imagine like quiet and reserved, and wise. Yeah, her as Sundry Sydney is so good. Like the voice she does and everything, so good. Yeah, I have to say I am a big fan of how well I'm a big fan of the way Ali plays as the like non-combat, like on her phone all the time, but like making big moves. Like it's like her entire character is just built for role play moves rather than combat moves, and it pays off. But yeah, especially in Starstruck where everything is so corporate, which makes a lot of sense. I think they're probably the loudest characters in Starstruck. Favorite character ever in a D&D game was Emily's Sundry Sydney or the monk that I haven't seen yet. I do feel like the others in Starstruck, they don't get as much kind of like not screen time, but I guess because of the nature of like Zach's character, the slug, Skip. Even when he was on screen, it was always like mimicry and one-liners. So, the monk, okay. Which was also really good. It was really funny a lot of the time, but yeah, it's sort of at first for a while he was very much like kind of in the background. Concept in 2 words. All right, hit me. The nanny. Oh, you spent one of the words on the word the. Yeah, well, now that you say it, I think it does ring a bell, and I have to Google it. Yeah, it might be before my time. I'm very sorry. Although it does look familiar. I think it may have been on TV when I was a kid. Oh, barely. It would have been reruns because it stopped in 1999 and I was born in 1998. So, hey, Aldrail 1006, how you doing? But oh, Moose is back. How you doing? Hey Moose, did you know that this is like the way I look on camera is actually just like a camera trick. This is what I actually look like. Like in real life, this is what I actually look like. Wings included. Wings included. A lot of people doubt that, but they're just haters. Hairdresser from Queens. I'm sorry, Mod Brew, but these are references that go over my little baby brain. Aldrail is here, and Aldrail gets what you're talking about, though. So, thank you, Aldrail. You expect me to be more beautiful and angelic in person? I just assume that's how you look. Yeah, yeah. Well, you guys are special. You guys, you see through the camera. You know that this is really what I look like. That I'm really. I mean, the hairstyle's not that different. It's a little longer than I would like, but the rest is. It's how I look. It's how I dress too. I carry my big golden mace everywhere. I wear these golden armbands things. This thing up here. Just pants and a cloth. Tabard, whatever you call And Roman sandals. Alcoholic divorced hairdresser is Emily Axford's monk. Wow. How does she become a monk? I'd love to hear that. Oh, and what was the setting for that? That was that a modern one? Or Fantasy High? If it was divorced, it must not be Fantasy High. It must be Sleeping City, right? Was it Sleeping City? So it's like modern? Already so hot though, I could only imagine in person. Thank you. Makes a lot of sense. You're just stating facts right now. Have to watch. I will have to watch. Yes, I will admit you are sort of piquing my interest now. I guess, you know, it doesn't really matter what the setting is and what like the vibe is, because the players are just so good. I definitely want to watch Crown of Candy though. A lot of the shorts I've seen are from Crown of Candy, and I like the idea that everything there could be eaten. And also the fact that it seems to be very dark political intrigue in a world made of food, like Candy Kingdom from Adventure Time kind of world. Masterful DM work, Brandon in Fantasy High is ridiculous. Yeah, well, I think that might be why I've seen people talking about it so much, was because of the way Brandon did it. But yeah, I'll have to watch it eventually. I think Crown of Candy is probably the first one on the list after Starstruck for me. And then probably Sleeping City, and then probably Fantasy High. Also, we're at the end of the second hour, and I haven't even started on adventure planning. Existing predators, prey, agendas, or rivalries. Yes. Well, this one's easy. Fighting fiends. Fiendish incursions. Protecting and helping good-hearted folk. Actually, let's do this like this. They all fight fiends. Minotaurs. Dealing out. Divine wrath to fiends or to entire regions corrupted by evil. Solas doing, I don't even know. This is just like god level lower planes threats, basically. Like they're just this catch-all. Solas are just like, they just do it all. They're just the best. So Solas are the most boring. Because Davers are like, we live amongst the people and we help them where we can. And, oh yeah, I should probably read all the things he wrote. Because all his D20 players were new, so he was guiding them through while they did ridiculous things. Oh, patience of a goddamn saint. I have seen some patience in a DM. Sorry for my ADHD just screaming in Twitch chat again. I do that. I'm always distracted. Angels go. Yeah, I'm happy to go with it at this point. And the first time I did a stream like this, it was like, I really wanted to be strict with it. And I was good with it, but I was like, this is not as fun as just, you know, chatting. This is like the opposite, where it's now, I've spent a little bit too long chatting, but that's okay. I've been watching, completely off topic again, but I wanted to bring it up. I've been watching, there's a game, Escape from Tarkov. I don't know if you've played it. Completely unrelated to D&D, right? But there's a guy who makes Escape from Tarkov content, among other things, called General Sam. And he's this him and his friends are like very crude humor, like really, really crude, crass humor. and it's like really dumb shit. Off topic is where I live, baby. And they decided to play D&D together. So now they do a series called Die of Laughter. Get it? Dice? You can't have a D&D series without a pun. And his sense of humor is very unique. But I'll give you a link to their actual thing. But basically, they're not professionals by any means. They're very much just a bunch of friends who decided to record their D&D sessions. So nowhere near the production quality of anything else you've ever watched, probably. But the patience on the DM in their group is incredible, because I'm pretty sure they're at the end of their 4th 3-hour session. Last I saw their uploads, they've done 4 episodes, and at first, so they started in a tavern. They did a very classic start, and there have been plenty of reasons to leave the tavern and go do quests or explore the town or whatever. And at first they were ignoring it just because they were having so much fun in the tavern. But at some point they became self-aware of it, and they were like, we are never leaving this tavern. And so they're still, at the end of the 4th episode, they are still in that tavern and have not left. And I think they're now in like I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but they're now in, I won't spoil it, I'll just sort of vaguely describe it. They're now in an episode or in a session that is fully making fun of the fact that the tavern is their entire world at the moment. Like, they have no idea what's outside of it, other than being told what's outside of it. But like, they haven't gone out there. They haven't really even looked out there, I don't think. It's called Die of Laughter. I'll grab the actual link for you. I mean, you can search it up too. But yeah, it's tiny channel because I've only got the 4 episodes up at the moment. Why am I on the wrong account? This is truly whack, my gamer. Aussie? No, not Aussie. These are just some random Americans. But the reason I watch it is because their sense of humor is uniquely inappropriate and crass and crude, and I like it. Most of it is like imagining, like, if you do watch an episode of that, yeah, the patience you'd have to have and the understanding you have to be their DM is truly supernatural. Do a lot of driving? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I think they have it in podcast form as well. I just like to watch the YouTube channel, but I think it's in podcast form as well if you want to listen to it that way. But yeah, like on multiple occasions they've been like, oh, he's probably so upset with us because we haven't left the tavern yet, and he's on a few occasions he's been like, you know what, no, like, whatever you guys want to do, whatever kind of fun you want to have, I want to facilitate it. Okay, if that means never leaving the tavern, then we will not leave the tavern. And just, yeah, he's had a really positive, you can tell that some of the things they do test him, especially since they're all new players, or relatively new players. But yeah, it is chaos, and it is disorganized, and it would be frustrating, and it is all highly inappropriate and not the kind of thing you want to be watching in front of children, or actually most adults, I would say, either. Not like listening to, because it's the things they say. There's nothing visually wrong with it. Dungeons and Daddies episode I was listening to today, one of the characters used their phone to call the player that plays them to ask a question about mechanics. That would have been so fun to role play that out, like give someone else or ask someone else at the table to play their character, and then call them so they can actually have the phone call. That would be cool. How did they do it? Is that how they did it, or did they just like pretend to call themselves? Because that's in the one I just think they're not breaking the fourth wall directly, but they definitely make references to it. Like they're trying to play D&D normally. They're just not good at it. The DM then voiced the player responding to the player voicing the character. DM was the player character behind. That's cool. I've heard of Dungeons and Daddies. It does seem like the kind of place where like it's all very kind of cartoon rules, you know, as Mr. Brennan would say, cartoon logic. I'm gonna try and fill this out. Emergent problems. What problems might arise from our world building? I don't think anything would really arise from our world building. Coming fallen by ignoring warnings from mortals due to their pride and the command rather than serve. Because that's sort of written into their lore. It would be wrong for me to say that was a result of our world building. Literally, real dads are driving to Faerun into their Honda. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about how it starts. That they're like actually just dads that stumbled into. Oh no, not stumbled into. They went into to save their kids or something. Through a portal accidentally. Angels go, yeah. I don't think there are really any emergent problems unless there are threats in Mount Celestia where the first monastery is. But I don't think so. Right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, actually. From our world building, Planetar's stolen from the armory and corrupted to serve non-good forces. I don't want to say evil, because what if, you know, some lawful things took it, you know, some chaotic, the Proteans took it. A weird effect of Mount Celestia? I've heard about that. Oh wait, I think 5e has something like that too. Maybe. If it does, I think it would be in the DMV. If it doesn't, then I'm stupid. The planes. 43. Shadowfell. Older planes, and eh? Mount Celestia. Optional rule. Blessed beneficence. In contrast to the dissonance experienced by evil creatures here, good creatures are literally blessed by the pervasive beneficence of the plane. Creatures of good alignment gain the benefit of the bless spell as long as they remain on the plane. In addition, finishing a long rest on the plane grants a good creature the benefit of a lesser restoration spell. Yeah, Uldriel, we weren't questioning the existence of Mount Celestia. I was questioning the whether 5e had an effect while you were in the plane, which it does. It's an optional rule, but it is a rule nonetheless. It also has psychic dissonance, which applies to every plane whenever a creature goes there with an opposing alignment. So that's cool, because every single plane, or every single, is it every plane? Every outer plane seems to have, yeah, every outer plane has peculiar characteristics. It doesn't seem to have optional rules for inner planes like the elemental planes. Which is weird. You'd think, while I'm in the elemental plane of fire, I should probably be burning to death. But apparently not. Memory wipe as we left like we never went there? Oh, I guess that makes sense. They wouldn't want mortals just thinking about going back to Mount Celestia. Especially if you wanted to treat it as like supernaturally good. Which it is, really. Then you might not want to leave. As a mere mortal, you might be like, this is way better than the material plane. Why would I ever want to leave here? I'm going to do everything I can to get back there. Like be addicted to how good it feels just to exist in the upper planes. So that's it. That makes sense. Damn dissonance. Feywild is an inner plane? Yes. In fact, I think, I don't know if 5e refers to it as such, but in some other things I read, it was referred to as a parallel plane. Or a transitional plane? Or planar travel, planar portals. Planes, the transitive planes. Oh, interesting. Hold on. So the 5e DMG, like Morty when he felt true level. I don't watch Rick and Morty. I'm sorry. I'm a very much a disappointment when it comes to cultural references. I'm very sorry. But here are the planar categories in the 5e DMG. The first one is the material plane and its echoes. So it refers to the Feywild and the Shadowfell as echoes of the material plane. I've also seen them referred to as parallel planes, not in this, but in other places. And mirror planes, maybe? I don't know, but parallel planes is another word for them. Then you have the transitive planes, which are the ethereal plane and the astral plane, which are just pathways to other planes. Then you have the inner planes, which is the elemental planes, plus the elemental chaos that surrounds them. Then you have the outer planes, which is the 16 outer planes, which correspond to alignments. And then you have the positive and negative planes, which enfold the rest of the cosmology, providing the raw forces of life and death that underlie the rest of existence in the multiverse. What it does not mention is the far realm. I hope it has a section on that in here. You're really gonna tell me that it doesn't? Other planes, let's go to 67. I reckon it'll mention the far realm. You gotta mention the far realm. You can't talk about the planes and not mention the far realm. Oh, other planes, they mentioned the Outlands and Sigil or Sigil. Demi-planes, which are extra-dimensional spaces that come into being by a variety of means and boast their own physical lords. Fell Realm is in here. It does have a section. I'll read it in a moment. Now Astral Sea. I think the Astral Sea is just in the Astral Plane because we do have a small section on the Far Realm. So let me give it a read. The Far Realm is outside the known multiverse. In fact, it might be an entirely separate universe with its own physical and magical laws. Where stray energies from the Far Realm leak onto another plane, matter is warped into alien shapes that defy understandable geometry and biology. Aberrations such as mind flayers and beholders are either from this plane or shaped by its strange influence. The entities that abide in the far realm itself are too alien for a normal mind to accept without strain. Titanic creatures swim through nothingness there, and unspeakable things whisper awful truth to those who dare listen. For mortals, knowledge of the far realm is a struggle of the mind to overcome the boundaries of matter, space, and sanity. Some warlocks embrace this struggle by forming pacts with the entities there. Anyone who has seen the far realm mutters about eyes, tentacles, and horror. The far realm has no well-known portals, or at least none that are still viable. Ancient elves once opened a vast portal to the far realm within a mountain called Firestorm Peak, but their civilization imploded in bloody terror, and the portal's location, even its home world, is long forgotten. Lost portals might still exist, marked by an alien magic that mutates the area around them. So that's all the DMG, the 5e DMG, has on the far realm. So there's no cool big section on it telling us all about what's in there. It's just a general description of the far realm. Although I would hazard a guess there's some sort of Planescape content books or whatever out there, right? But so basically, according to in 5e, the far realm is not part of this diagram. It's like outside it. You know. And yeah, so we have the positive plane, negative plane, which encompasses everything. The outer planes, the where's the word? Astral plane is the in surrounding all of these. And then you have the elemental chaos, and then here you have the ethereal plane. It also has all the known worlds as material plane. So it's got like Toril, which is the Forgotten Realms setting. It's got Earth, which is the Greyhawk setting. Kryn, which is the Dragonlance setting. Athos, which is Dark Sun. Eberron, which is Eberron. Abrinis, which is Birthright. And Mystara, a heroic fantasy world born out of the earliest editions of the D&D game. Diverse cultures, savage monsters, and warring empires collide. The world is further shaped by the meddling of the immortals, former adventurers raised to nearly divine status. It's an interesting idea. Cool picture of the Tarrasque. Just doing Tarrasque things, you know how it is. And yeah, the next is all about creating adventures and stuff. I should actually reread that. It's been years since I read through this, like cover to cover. But I don't really need to until I'm actually gearing up to run stuff. But anyway, angels, am I right? Luke from Big Games, Small Pieces is my realm knowledge guy. Okay. Yeah, well, that's something interesting about D&D is how every edition, sometimes there are differences, and sometimes there are things that are just not in an edition, so you have to look at previous editions. Here's the one I upset with my boshing of all D&D lore. Well, you won't see me getting upset because I don't know most of it. And also I don't adhere to most of it because I'm homebrew pretty much everything. And most of the lore revolves around the planes and the pantheons and everything. And I'm much more interested in the lower level stuff, to be honest. I think it's much more fun to like just explore the region around a town and all the many things that can go on there. Just so much potential. I think it's because when you get to a high level, not character level, although that as well, it's easy to just kind of like start to group things. Just be like, yeah, there's a big group of angels fighting a big group of demons, and it's like there's just like a war, and it's that simple. Now go fight the war, you know. More lore on Raven Queen. Gold dragons are lawful good? Well, now I have to look that up. Thanks, man. Now I have to look that up. But gold is metallic, so that means they are good, aren't they? Maybe not lawful good. Oh, they are lawful good. In 5e, anyway. Whole souls and memories and stuff like that sounds way too cool. I don't know anything about it. Oh, I thought that was what you said. A lawfully good stoner drug dealer. Actually, wait, let me have another look at that. Look how seedy he looks. So seedy. Yeah, opalescent mist. Presence. Let's just change opalescent mist to like opioid mist. Done. Castle of the Raven Queen is literally called Fortress of Memories. Wow. A Shadowfell adventure. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I'm a little bit obsessed with the Feywild too. Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna be honest. Angels are not super interesting to me, so it is hard for me to like make them interesting. So these are usually friendly. Actually, oh, they could be all 4 of these. Actually, they're usually smart. Okay, let me just quick rapid fire these, okay? Getting too close to their deity. Angels would attack if PCs were too close to their deity and were powerful enough to be a threat. Because that isn't really hostile and stupid, I guess. I don't know, it's kind of stupid. Not stupid as in a bad idea. NADPod, no, but I've heard of it. They mention it a lot in Adventuring Academy. In Brendan Lee Mulligan's hosting interviews in Adventuring Academy. They did mention it a lot. So, seems pretty good, but I don't really know much about it. Hostile and smart. Oh, well, I guess... I think this wouldn't... Hostile and stupid wouldn't actually happen. This is a play on... Or it's just oversimplification of, like, you know, an animal. But that's not... Angels are not that simple. Oh... Actually... all angels would attack. But Planetars deployed to exercise wrath upon a region such as a plague would do so unflinchingly, even if the PCs were good and if good PCs were in the region. So that's a way. Planetars, I think, is a fun way to be stupid. Emily Axford is in it. Done. In that podcast, they go through both Shadowfell and Feywild in different arcs. Oh, okay. Very cool. I think so far Court of Fey and Flowers is doing a great exploration of the Feywild. Like, it's so fun, and also I like that they are using some mechanics from a game that's not D&D. It's from a like Pride and Prejudice style. What is that? Jane Austen style role playing game. Because Dimension 20 is so well known for D&D, so they're trying to like bring in other rules from other games to sort of expose people to the idea of like other games. But I think it's probably just convincing people that you can just play D&D and never try another game because you can just steal stuff from other games. Good and bad. It's mostly good. I would say, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Friendly and stupid. How can the PCs determine this creature needs help? I don't really see that happening. Starstruck Odyssey D&D 5e SW. I've heard of that. Is SW like Star Wars? I'm pretty sure it is, right? D&D 5e SW. Star Wars, yeah. Love to play in the Star Wars D&D 5e style. I think that it fits to a degree, but there are definitely some aspects of, especially more recent Star Wars work, doesn't feel as heroic as D&D is built for. Especially when you watch Starstruck, right? And you see the ridiculous powers they're capable of. I guess it depends, I suppose, because I don't know. I think D&D, as shown when you watch stuff like Starstruck Odyssey and stuff, it gets really crazy with lots of ridiculous powers. So I guess it depends on the kind of game you want to run, I suppose. That's what it's all about. Because D&D, I feel like is great, and SW5E by extension is great at like ridiculous big swing hero, not necessarily hero like good, I guess, but super, let's say super, like super characters, whether they're superheroes or super villains, like really crazy stuff, basically. That's kind of what it's made for, at least 5e. That's the way people play it. That's just the way it tends to be played. And I think that Star Wars has some kind of crazy moments, but nothing really on the level of most D&D campaigns. Like, especially the newer stuff, like The Mandalorian. Book of Boba was kind of a bit more crazy because it was so bad. Like, did you watch Book of Boba? Do you guys watch all the Star Wars stuff? Mandalorian was so good, and it was so like grounded. And all of the stuff that happened was just like, you know, a little gunfight. No, nothing crazy. No like explosions or force powers or anything. I mean, Grogu had a little bit of it, but like, you know, it's all very kind of like one guy versus five guys or whatever. You know, nothing like killing a god, or fighting in massive fleet battles or anything like that. That didn't happen in The Mandalorian. But crazy shit did happen in Book of Boba. Like, I don't want to spoil it though, I guess, if you guys might want to watch it. But it's not very good, so I don't feel too bad. You gotta tell me now. If first person to respond, if you say you don't mind spoilers, then everyone's getting spoiled. I mean, you've had plenty of time. How old is that now? How much time has passed? Book of Boba Fett. The release date. December last year. Okay, so it hasn't been out a year yet, but it's more than 6 months. I think I'm going to spoil. Not a big deal. I don't know why I made such a big deal out of it, but like, especially the last episode of Book of Boba Fett. There was so much crazy shit. Like the Rancor, the big creature that Boba Fett's pet. him just riding it and attacking shit. Two big, super powerful droids no one's ever seen before. They're like invulnerable. Um, you know, the hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but like the tens of corporate soldiers. The speeding off on a speeder bike to go and assassinate the head of their business. The dark saber, just being there and him fighting the droids with a dark saber, like, and then Grogu there with the Force, like that was all crazy mixed up action, right? That last episode in particular felt very and flamethrowers as well, you know, felt very D&D. I think it's fair to say, but you didn't have anything really on that level in, for example, The Mandalorian, because the Mandalorian series was a little bit more gritty. I think the word is a bit more gritty. Boba Fett was a bit more wacky, and generally not in a good way. Not that there's anything bad about being wacky, but Book of Boba I don't think most people liked. I didn't like it very much. It was okay. But, yeah. Anyway, Mandalorian was like... So, I'm definitely more into that. And like, in terms of sci-fi, for example, have you ever watched Firefly or Serenity? You ever seen that stuff? Or The Expanse. You seen The Expanse? I love sci-fi. Sci-fi is my favorite. I don't see Angels ever needing PC help. Firefly and Serenity, yes. I'm so glad. Some of my follow notification, not my follow one, but my raid and my host. Actually, I can just show you. Yeah, The Expanse is so good. Let me chuck that over here. I need to pee. Waiting for season 2? Oh, Firefly? Yep. We're all right there with you. Alert box. Be gone, demon. Now, where is it? Test hosting. Time for some thrilling heroics. And test raids. Do you wanna guess what the raid one is? It's from Firefly. From Serenity. Do you wanna guess what the raid animation is? I think you could guess it. It's probably my favorite scene from a lot of media. It fucking goes hard, bro. It fucking goes hard. Raid animation, yeah, raid animation. Can you get from Serenity? It's a clip from Serenity. I think you can guess. But it's okay if you don't, because I'll play it anyway. Jane? Reavers? You have to be a bit more specific. But you're getting warmer. I think you probably got it. It's not that. I want to play it. I want to play it. This is, I think, is very appropriate for a raid. I love it. I think it's a great scene. I love how smug the operative looks. And how quickly he turns like. I love it. But yeah, the other ones are pretty good too. Which one were you thinking of when you said Jane? I'm curious. Because I can't think of a scene with Jane that's like appropriate for raiding. Gonna be better if he was holding paper signs confessing his love for Mel. That would be alright. I'm gonna try and answer a few more of my self-posed questions here. Were they willing to ask PCs for help with the problem? Nope. They would command the PCs and do it themselves if the PCs refused. Possibly becoming hostile if the PC's intent was seen as evil. What situation might make them desperate enough to ask the PCs for help? Being a fallen angel trying to regain its status. A snarky angel. Yeah, well, I think they would be, not snarky, but they would be like, you think I'm playing around? Think I'm playing around? Think I won't shove this so far up your ass? You'll be tasting fire for a week? That's the voice I would have. That's the voice the angels would have. That's an angel accent. Little known fact. Not a lot of people realize that's actually the canon accent of angels. We teach on fire for a week. I don't know who I just did a shitty impression of, but I'm very sorry. An adventure hook. Okay, maybe the hook, a plague, super natural plague sweeps the land, and the PCs discover it was a planetar who caused it because the people of the land are doing something evil. Don't know what. Summoning fiends or something, I don't know. Setting. Ooh, well, it could be anything, really. I don't know, I guess like a... Oh, not small. Town slash... Let's go with... agricultural town slash city. It's farmland afflicted by the plague. Objective, find and stop the evil which apparently has spread through enough of the people themselves for a planetar to have brought a plague down upon them. Challenges. Okay. 2 or 3. I guess we could do social combat exploration just for fun. So, social. Nah, maybe not. Maybe I won't limit myself like that. Well, it's going to be some investigation to discover, I don't know, fiendish cult of some kind. Pretty, not super imaginative, I will admit, but going rapid fire here because I was going to stop in about 20 minutes. Throughout city to discover fiendish cult of some kind. Let's commit to that. That's a city, not a town. That's a city. Which was using the farm yield for something nefarious. Hence the plague. So I don't know how you can use wheat or grain to summon demons, but I will find a way. Fighting cultists, and possibly corrupt, like guards, etc. Or maybe because I kind of want a reason to fight an angel. I don't know why. It's a part of me that just like wants to find a reason that the party is at odds with the angels. Like the angels are wrong about something. I can't think of a quick way to do that. Well, that's 2 challenges, I guess. Something which makes the city's actions not so bad. Hitting the PCs against the angels. I don't know what, but I'll just put that there as like a, a thought hook for next time I look at it. And I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. Oh, this is stuck in my chin. That's epic. Oh, be right back. No return. Oh. Oh. Now, this part will require the whole 15 minutes I have left. So, angels typically fight fiends. Or any evil creatures. Off to cook Nutella crepes for the missus? Oh, that sounds lovely. Thanks for the chat and info on celestial beings. No worries. Thanks for joining me and helping me out. Enjoy your Nutella crepes. That sounds awesome. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Stay world champion, you too, man. I nearly said buddy, but it just felt patronizing. You too, champion. Absolute champion. Yeah, I'll see you next time, hopefully. Always good to have some company. Okay. So, what this means is if I'm lucky, I won't distract myself. I'm already distracted myself by talking about it. Angels typically fight fiends or any fiends and other creatures from the lower plane. Let's say other evil creatures in the lower planes. Deva fight mortal threats. Planetars fight fiendish threats in particular. Fight greatest of evil threats. And what do we see in the stat block? We see multi-use hack, we see mace, we see change shape. That's crazy. Okay, magic resistance. Angelic weapons. Extra 48 radiant damage. Included in the attack. Bludgeoning, piercing, their resistance to that stuff. They're immune to being charmed, exhausted, or frightened. Oh, spellcasting. They have Detect Evil and Good, which does not hurt anyone. They have Commune and they have Raise Dead. So they can't use their spells for combat. So they're honestly mostly helpful. Yeah. Would polymorph to gain tactical advantage, especially surprise via stealth. Would only fight to protect someone / something using its healing magic to keep them safe. So, because that's his whole thing, would stand between its charge and the foe. If necessary. Tanking and swinging with its mace. That's how they would fight. Planetars. My god, look at those stats. They have invisibility, blade barrier, which gives them disadvantage for the duration. This is blade barrier, not yeah. What? This you can make a straight wall up, 100 feet long, 20 feet high, and 5 feet thick. Provides 3/4 cover to creature behind it, and its space is difficult terrain. When a creature enters the walled area or starts its turn there, the creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 6d10 slashing damage. That's a lot of damage. Okay. Dispel Evil and Good, also quite good. So they buff themselves with that. How long does that last? That's concentration. That's also concentration, which means they wouldn't be using both at the same time. But there's a lot of options there. Flame Strike. And 46 radiant damage. They take fire and radiant. Very cool. And they also have Raised Dead. They have everything that the Deva has. Control Weather. And Insect Plague. That's not actually that big. Like that's not like a plague. That's a 20-foot radius for 10 minutes. Let's just pretend that they could do it for longer if they felt like it. What does Control Weather do? Wind, precipitation. 655, my dude, 655. Arctic cold, storm, blizzard. Cripple any city you wanted. Oh yeah, what's the range? Within 5 miles of you. Ah, so that's what they would really have done. Not the insect plague. The supernatural blizzard sweeps the land. And let's just say sweeps the land. A city is plunged into a supernatural blizzard. PCs discover it was a planetar who caused it, because the people of the land doing something evil, summoning fiends or something, I don't know. Yeah. Please destroy almost all the medieval fantasy towns. What did it say? Hurricane. It's violent storm. Yeah, okay. That's interesting, these comments. Top 1 Catacomb Keeper. Thank you for the follow. I am... You've caught me at not a great time because I'm just about to end the stream, but I appreciate the follow. I'm just finishing up this little shoddy document that I like to make when I do these streams. Just finishing up the combat capabilities of a planetar, which I think would have spent the 1 per day spell on Control Weather already. Um, concentrate on. Oh, is invisibility concentration? Oh shit. I don't think they'd bother with that. I think Blade Barrier is way sick. It's fucking sick, bro. Yeah. Invisibility. Until the advantage was lost, then either Blade Barrier or Dispel Good and Evil. Barrier or Dispel Good and Evil. For the duration of combat. To initiate. I misspelt it. And maintain it until the advantage was lost. Then either Blade Barrier or Dispel Good and Evil for the duration of combat. It's 3 per day. I don't think it would use. I don't think it would use when he's dead. Not in combat anyway. Except maybe on another angel. Flame Strike. It's pretty cool. Flame Strike against particularly strong, particularly important single target, because that's what it is, right? It's 5 feet. Oh, it's a 10-foot radius, 40 foot high. Or small group. Especially if vulnerable to fire or radiant. Then you spell Good and Evil. Where effective. Or Blade Barrier if Dispel Good and Evil is not effective. Grey Sword. And it can fly. Where's its speed? Fly 120. Man. This thing would absolutely would constantly fly out of range. See, Healing Touch apparently doesn't work on itself. It says the Planetar touches another creature, which is interesting. Fly out of range. Swooping attack, multi-attack, using one attack to shove the creature and avoid an attack of opportunity. And it flies away afterwards if the target could hit a 19 AC. Because what I'm picturing there is it has 120 feet fly speed, so it wouldn't just not use that. It would use that for sure. But I'm thinking if it's against someone that could actually hit it and hurt it, it would come in, make one greatsword attack with its multi-attack, and then use its second attack to shove. Shoving a creature. Using the attack action, you can make a special melee attack. To that, ooh. Shoving take the whole action? Hold on, what does it say about grappling? You can use the attack action to make a special melee attack, a grapple. If you are able to make multiple attacks with the attack action, this attack replaces one of them. Yeah, and here it is. If you're able to make multiple attacks with attack action, this attack replaces one of them. No more than one size larger than you. This is large. If you succeed, either knock the target prone or push it 5 feet away from you. So if they don't have 10-foot reach, this guy flies in, uses one attack to greatsword and the other attack to shove, so that it gets out of their reach without triggering an attack of opportunity, and then it flies away. That's badass. And a little bit crazy. So it would totally do that against anything that it actually considered a threat, especially since it has 27 strength. Oh, sorry, plus 7 strength. So yeah, it wouldn't fuck around if it, you know, if it really thought something was a threat and didn't want to get hit by him, then it'd do that to him. So that's a cool little tactic. It's a fun little thing. I think that's most of it. Solars. These guys are so strong. Sit in back line with slaying longbow using bonus action. It doesn't even have a range on the flying sword. So you could just keep sending it out. You could send there in bonus action, just like, yep, another 50 feet. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, you could sit way back at 150 feet away. Sit in backline. Stay 150 feet away with slaying longbow using bonus action to send flying sword and attack in melee. Pretty much. And it can teleport. Carrying out. Oh, dude. It's a legendary action too. Man, that's fucking crazy. Does it say how many arrows it gets? Probably as many as it likes. Yeah. Solar makes 2 greatsword attacks, which I assume it still gets with the flying sword. Oh no, it says bonus action to fly and either make 1 attack or return to the solar's hand. Stop doing that. Oh my god. Legendary action to teleport backwards if the enemy gets too close. Let's read more about invisibility. It doesn't actually have much more than the invisible. Impossible to see. Attack rolls against the creature have disadvantage, and the creature's attack rolls have advantage. Yeah. Would remain invisible for as long as possible. Fuck. Invisible. 150 feet away, slaying a longbow. That's advantage in all of its attacks. Fuck. That's fucking strong, man. Definitely Searing Burst if people get too close. Blinding Gaze. Blinded until the magic such as a lesser restoration spell removes the blindness. Well, there's no need for that if you're invisible. Why would you blind people if you can just be invisible? That's silly. Blinding Gaze seems kind of useless. Oh, unless they can see through invisibility, like if they have True Sight, but yeah, True Sight doesn't make you immune to blindness, I think, so yeah. For sure. Would use Blinding Gaze against anyone who could see through the invisibility. Against single targets who can see through the invisibility. Searing Burst if a group gets surrounded. If invisibility is defeated, this is concentration. Yeah. Either dispel good and evil. Where effective and blade barrier. Or blade barrier if dispel good and evil. D-gay is ineffective. If that is ineffective. Yeah, that seems pretty good. That seems to cover most things. It's immune to necrotic and poison. Yeah. Pretty much sums up their fighting style, I would think. Deva. I'm good, Kobold. How you doing? Welcome. How's everyone going? Well, I'm doing good. I think it's just me and you here, maybe one other person. I'm actually about to stop the stream. You called me a bad time, Hungry Kobold. I'm just finishing up this little scrappy little document where I'm just noting down stuff I'm learning about angels, the Deva, the planetars, Devas, planetars, and solars. Okay, this is not what I want to be reopening. You vibing? Used to catch the end of streams? Fair enough. Hoplon! Follower from 15 minutes ago. I'm good, how are you, man? Thanks for saying hi. Yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. You know, I wasn't super like interested in angels, and I'm still not super interested in them for 5e. But I think every time I do one of these, there's more to them than I think there is. You know, so it's fun. It's a fun little exercise. So right now I'm just going through behavior, motivations, and culture. I think the Deva would be humble, in touch with their roots. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Cobalt. I appreciate it. I'll leave you with this. Thank you. Up one. Great, just adjusting stats for my character who's gotten a subclass change from a grave cleric to a light cleric after a major story climax. Cool. Very cool change. I've actually got an NPC grave cleric that would be a major part of something I hope to run sometime soon, of a little campaign. And they're literally a grave keeper, like they... Hold on, everything stopped. Why is video... What? YouTube just paused the video and I went over to it and it just had a pop-up saying, video paused, continue watching? And I was like, yes. Yes. I played it because I want to listen to it. Anyway. Yeah, like basically someone who, you know, does all the funeral rites and rituals for a graveyard at a little town. Very thematic. But yes, there's a lot more going on in that little town, as there so often is. And yes, so I've got a little grave cleric going on there. Can't speak much more on it. His name is David, a human champion / former grave cleric, now light cleric multiclass. Oh, what are your Oh, champion fighter? Champion fighter, is that what you mean? Is that the multiclass? What are your levels? Humble, in touch with their roots, observant, and helpful, observant and protective. Planetars, distant and cold. Weapons of justice, weapons of wrath and justice. Constructed weapons of wrath and justice. Embodiments of good. Commanding like a patronizing parent, showing a child how to be a good person, never subservient. Prideful. Okay. Now finally, a little non-combat puzzle which requires the PCs to learn about the creature in order to solve it. Also, create a reward for solving the puzzle which is themed around the creature. Level 5 dip. From level 1 to 5. So what level is your character? So you're level 5 champion? Champion fighter? Is that right? With how many levels in cleric? Level 18. Ah, okay. So you're level 13 cleric. That's high level. Is that from level 1 to 18? It's impressive. Not a lot of characters get to go through that. A lot of campaigns end way earlier. 5 levels into champion fighter, 13 levels into cleric. Cool. I'm trying to decide. Level 118 is a 1.5 year campaign now. Oh wow. That's actually, it's amazing how different, how different campaigns can be, because I was previously playing in a campaign that was going on for about 3 years, and I think the people who are still in it are probably at like level 12 or 13. So yeah, a bit slower, but it was also kind of arbitrary where we leveled up. It was kind of whenever the DM just felt like doing different, pitting us against more powerful creatures. I'm a bit stuck. Once I figure out this puzzle, stopping stream. So a non-combat puzzle which requires PCs to learn about the creature and not soul. So it's to learn about angels. So I think what they should learn is the how they're created, which is pretty much like paladin / cleric, dies, serves faithfully in the afterlife, and then is created as a transformed into a deva, and then transformed into a planetar, then transformed into a solar. So puzzle is about the creation of angels. Paladins and clerics die, and if they continue to serve faithfully in the afterlife, then they are transformed into a deva, then a planetar, then a solar. Or it could be the fact that there's only 24 solars. Maybe. I think four statues, a life-size mortal. I love statues, it just makes it easy. A life-size mortal, paladin, watching their plate-clad paladin, standing in front of a cleric, clutching their Divine spell focus. Something to represent death. Oh, I know. Um, and a stone sarcophagus. In a row. From left to right. Flaco Paladin. Cleric clutching the Divine Spell Focus. The unmarked sarcophagus. Three large muscular humanoids in a line. On the ground nearby, or on the wall. Hooked on the wall nearby. The following weapons. Mace. A large great sword. Two large great swords. A longbow. Must be placed. The weapons must be placed. Oh, actually, are they all? He's medium. He's large. He's large. One medium and two large muscular humanoids in a line. In the hands of the statues, such that first muscular humanoid. Oh wait, with the wings. Standing vertically. I don't expect this to make much sense till I explain it. Weapons must be placed in the hands of the statue such that the first muscular humanoid wields the mace of a deva, the second great sword of a planetar, and the third great sword and longbow of a solar. Let's call weapons placed correctly. The weight of these statues is perfect for them to sink into a depression, which then unlocks, let's say a mechanism which then unlocks the sarcophagus containing a plate clad plate clad paladin and their weapons of choice. All magical in some way. Probs some radiant damage. Etc. Done. So the exploration in the puzzle is the players need to understand how angels are created, I guess, in a way. I think it sort of already tells them. But that's okay. Yeah, so you've got a statue of a paladin and a cleric. And then you have a standing sarcophagus. And then you have a statue of a deva without its equipment. Then you have a statue of a planetar without its equipment and a solar. And the equipment is on the wall, and you have to put the mace in the deva's hand. You have to put a greatsword in the planetar's hand. You have to put the other greatsword and the longbow in the solar's hand. And once they're all in the hands, the statues have the perfect weight to activate a mechanism beneath them, which unlocks the sarcophagus, which contains the body of a paladin. And his effects, his cool equipment and shit. That sounds good to me. That's pretty cool. That's probably my most fun part of this document, is making that little exploration puzzle thing at the end. Okay. That's it. That's all I'm going to do tonight. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to go eat some food. So let me just transition. Wow, it really is kind of red. So my parents said that my facial hair is a lot more red than my head hair for some reason. Whack. Anyway. To those of you who are still here, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Since you guys followed, I appreciate the follow. But that's all I've got. And I need to go eat because I'm hungry. I'm going to have some easy food. I'm going to go do a frozen pizza. So hopefully I'll see you next time. But that's all I've got. So that's all I've got for tonight. So take care of yourselves. Good luck with stuff, life, troubles, and have fun with the stuff that isn't trouble. Yeah, that's all I've got. So hopefully I'll see you next time. But for now, bye.